heading into the next book. I actually don't know what it is. What are we looking at? We are looking at, oh dear, Hilichurl cultural customs. Oh no. At least I don't have to recite any poetry, so actually this is not quite so bad as I expected. Volume 1, Hilichurlian social structure. Ooh, this is like a treatise on the culture of Hilichurls, and I'm all for this. I'm going to forget this in 2 seconds because I can never remember which Hilichurl is which. But still, intrigued to read. The social structure of the Hilichurl race is evidently a primitive, tribal one. Small-sized Hilichurl tribes are prolific in occurrence throughout the wilderness. It seems that they conceive of the tribe as akin to a large extended family. By far the most powerful figure in the Hilichurl tribe is the shaman. Out of curiosity though, if all the Hilichurls that we know about, again, I haven't looked up the history of Hilichurls, but it seems that all the Hilichurls seem to have been created by people being punished by a higher authority. So you've got the Cambrian Hilichurls, but they were already Hilichurls prior to that. So I believe that the Hilichurls that already existed were humans that had previously been condemned from other societies and cultures and that were still living in Teyvat. So I do believe all Hilichurls, to my knowledge and the best knowledge of the lore of Teyvat, because they haven't really explained that in detail, are all previously human. So following that, what is a deciding factor that determines what role you have in this Hilichurlian society? What determines whether you're going to assume the appearance of a shaman? What determines whether you're going to assume the appearance of one of the big guys, whose name I don't recall? Like, what decides these things? Who decides who's going to be a pleb little Hilichurl with a little crossbow? That's what I want to know. I want to know more about that part of society because that's the intriguing part. So, anywho, back to the shaman. Extensive field research confirms that a shaman is the oldest member of the tribe and plays a role in it analogous to that of the parent in the family, managing minor affairs and making policy decisions based on their wealth of experience. I mean, that's interesting, but you've got to remember that all the Hilichurls are physically different in form, so they have to have been made in their current state. So does that mean a shaman has to find a tribe that is younger than itself so that they can be the oldest member of said tribe? Or was this law in this book created before they created the law that Hilichurls were created by punished human beings? I don't know. Additionally, shamans act as protected to their tribe using their elemental abilities. Shamans can be identified by their distinctive appearance from other tribe members. They wear horned, smiling face masks with eye holes at the mouth and wield a rudimentary shaman staff in their hands. A further identifying feature is that they will be heard chanting to themselves some form of unintelligible hymn or incantation. Age is not always a deciding factor when it comes to the status in the tribe. In some tribes, shamans are ousted from leadership by physically larger Hilichurls with superior combat skills, as it should be. Might can make right sometimes. Under leadership of this kind, such tribes tend to become more aggressive, inevitably yes. The chiefs of these tribes can easily be identified from their large stature and ostentatious masks, which also bear horns. So they're saying that, well, not all the big guys, though, are leaders. That's interesting. The Hilichurls' hostility towards outsiders, coupled with the obvious language barriers, means that conducting scientific research on the distribution of resources within tribes has been all but impossible. Nevertheless, Knights of Favonius' patrol reports suggest that the resources are typically shared on the basis of, to each according to his needs. All tribe members are both gatherers and soldiers, but some that prize combat above others develop into seasoned heavyweights of the battlefield. If the tribe stays long enough in an unfavourable environment, these heavyweights will become its utmost respected leaders. Interestingly, Hilichurls seem to have a unique ability to manipulate the elements despite their low intelligence and primitive social structure. This ability is most notably manifested in the shamans. Typically, humans require a vision in order to exercise elemental control. The question of how Hilichurls are able to do so without a vision is, therefore, one that requires further investigation and analysis. Not once in this game have I stopped and thought about why these Hilichurls wield the elements. I kind of just accepted it the way that, slimes can be of an element. I never stopped and thought, hey, these are humanoids, shouldn't have it unless they have a vision. Wow. I don't even know where to go with that thought process. Do any of you have any ideas? Where do their elemental abilities come from when they typically would need to wield a vision? Oh, are Hilichurls like the heightened form of humanity and that they don't need... I know they're a devolution, but still. That would be interesting. You posit an interesting point, author. Volume 2, Hilichurl Spirituality. Just as the inhabitants of the 7 nations of Teyvat each have their religious beliefs, so too do the Hilichurls. However, they worship not a specific figurehead with a presence in this world, such as one of the 7, but elemental power itself in a more abstract sense. For instance, some Hilichurl tribes in Mondstadt revere Anemo just as their human counterparts do, but they do not recognize the Anemo Archon Barbatos. Instead, they worship the power of Anemo itself. Hilichurls holding different elemental beliefs often live together in the same tribe. An individual Hilichurl's elemental affiliation can be deduced from the designs on their masks and the colour of their body paint. First-hand observations indicate that the shaman, responsible for organising offerings and worship ceremonies for the tribe, applies a coloured dye to their hair and skin, with the colour representing the element they worship. Shamans are dressed and adorned more ornately than ordinary tribe members, but owing to the limited intelligence of the Hilichurls, it is highly doubtful that any of the fine ornaments worn are crafted by their own hand. Oh, come on! Don't take easy shots at them just because they're dumb. They could be very crafty. They might be good with their hands. The shaman is the spiritual leader of his tribe. He leads them in song and dance during worship, singing hymns of praise to the elements. God, does that make me a shaman? If there is leftover meat from the hunt, the Hilichurls place it on the altar, raw, as a sacrifice. Yeah, but that could be eaten. Even though they accumulate ample mora, precious stones, and other items of value through exploring, looting, mugging, and other means, it would appear that raw meat alone is considered a sufficient sacrifice. Hold up. You're telling me these guys aren't killing the people they're mugging? Because it didn't say murder, it said mugging. I'm sorry, but I've not quite ever come across a Hilichurl who only wanted to mug me. They always want to kill me. I don't believe that for a second. It would appear that the Hilichurls possess no concept of either the past or future, living only in the present. Good for them. They do not intentionally store up food for survival, nor do they commemorate their deceased forebears. Their crude attempts at something like calligraphy have been widely observed within their camps. Closer inspection reveals these markings to be nothing more than botched imitations of what they have seen in ancient ruins, possessing no originality whatsoever. Hilichurls do seem to have an inexplicable affinity for remains of the past, evidenced by the fact that ruins are one of their preferred locations to camp. But investigations thus far have turned up nothing which might hint at the true nature of their connection with the lost civilizations to which these ruins belong. It could just be the fact that they are from an old civilization, and that's any connection they can have to their past life. Maybe. I don't know. Volume 3. The Mysterious Loners. Among the Hilichurls exists a kind of mysterious, large creature possessing both immense physical strength and the ability to control the elements. They use this elemental ability to further enhance their physical state, such as to protect themselves or increase the brute force of their attacks, a combination making them nearly unstoppable. These powerful Hilichurls are called Lawa, by the rest of the tribe, a respectful form of address best translated to mean king or chief. However, Lawa don't actually rule over or lead the tribe at all. Rather, these large loners prefer solitude, avoiding the looks of reverence from the smaller Hilichurls. Adventurers very rarely encounter these gigantic creatures. Still, even the most seasoned adventurers will think twice before going on expeditions into areas where these dangerous lowers may be roaming. Sound advice. And Volume 4. Dadupa Gorge, Mondstadt. A case for cultural diversity among the Hilichurls. Cultural diversity? Aren't they all of the same culture down at the gorge? They all worship Anemo? No? The Meaty tribe, what a bloody name, is fond of feasting. They have built a boar-roaring pen in the centre of their settlement and assigned a swineherd to watch over it. Over a natural stove made with a pyro slime, they cook boar stew in a single large pot from which each tribe member feeds according to their needs. The most striking feature of this tribe is its sizable combat arena. Those who set foot in the arena are understood to be accepting an open invitation to engage in combat, and those frequently ousted from it face being mocked by the entire tribe. We have been there many a time. The Sleeper tribe, that's the southernmost tribe. So if you got like the Dadupa Gorge, you've got this big place down the bottom, and that's the one they're talking about. There's another one here, and there's another one here, if memory serves. The Sleeper tribe is prone to sleeping at every opportunity. They have built themselves an environment especially conducive to sleep, consisting of simple wooden huts furnished with soft animal hides for beds. They are the most cunning and devious of the Hilichurl tribes, and their above average mental capacity can perhaps be attributed to their superior sweep quality. They enjoy. Really? You're saying that they're mentally superior to the other Hilichurls purely because they sleep? Okay. Well, guys, if you want to be a brighter spark of a Hilichurl, make sure you get your 8 hours. The practices of the Eclipse tribe are the most occult of any in Mondstadt. They concern themselves neither with brains nor brawn, but with occult power. Distinct from the elemental powers worshipped by their peers, the object of their worship is a crude symbol that appears to represent an eclipsed sun. The shamans are more powerful than those of other tribes. In the center of their settlement, the other tribe members have built a grand throne for the most formidable of shamans who leads them. I don't recall this throne. To be fair, I go to the Meaty tribe. Whenever I was needing to farm Hilichurls, I believe I mostly did the bottom one, the Meaty tribe. Interesting. I actually would be interested in seeing that. Not right now. I cannot be bothered to go for a jaunt across Mondstadt, but good to know.